The whole reason why Biden has to arrest his top political opponent is not because President Trump is guilty of any crimes. It's because Biden can't beat Trump.
Ooh, okay, Marge. So the spin is on when it comes to the third and arguably most deafening indictment of Donald Trump over January 6th and the plot to overturn and thwart our democracy. And Marge was there speaking on Fox News. That was her particular spin, that Trump can't beat Biden, or Biden cannot beat Trump, excuse me. And we'll get into some polling. This is not very favorable and might actually support her argument there. But here is the rest of what she said. While, mind you, the motorcade that Trump is in after he just turned himself in, after he was arrested and potentially probably fingerprinted, that's playing right next to her. Here's what else she had to say.
The Department of Justice has been covering up Biden crimes, and I've looked at them myself. I serve on the Oversight Committee. We have so much proof. The evidence is mounting. I cannot wait to get back to Washington, D.C. I wish we were working on it right now because we have serious work to do, and an impeachment inquiry needs to happen.
Yeah, she can't wait to get back to work trying to find evidence that doesn't exist about Hunter Biden and his dad and the things he did. It's very sad. So they're on break right now, obviously, in Congress. But let's go over to MAGA mean girl Lauren Boebert and see what she said to Newsmax, kind of in a similar vein. But here was Boebert's spin on the indictment.
This is election interference at its finest. The DOJ is no longer the Department of Justice. It's the Department of Injustice. And with this arraignment, Joe Biden, his DOJ has officially become his new campaign headquarters, and Jack Smith is his new campaign manager. But despite all of this, they're trying to keep him off the ballot because they know that he is the front runner. And I'm actually really excited over this arraignment because it only ensures that President Trump will be the 47th president of the United States, because the American people are sick of this. They're sick of the Democrats' dirty trick.
The more crimes you do, the more you endear yourself to the American people, the more time you're arraigned and arrested, the more they vote for you. Guys, it's a good thing. She's excited about it. Marjorie Greene says it means he's gonna beat Joe Biden. Let's just stop down and assess this level of spin and how desperate it's sounding now.
Yeah. Well, look, Lauren Boebert's excited. Yay, he got indicted. I talked about this in the first hour, but I'll mention it again here. MAGA should be excited. This is their golden opportunity to prove that the election was stolen. Because if the election is stolen, then these charges are dismissed right away. The charge is that Trump lied about the election being stolen. Well, if it actually was stolen, then he didn't lie. Easy, super easy. MAGA, go get him, Tigers. You release the Krakens and the mules, you got this, right? And I said that on social media, and I have to confess I was surprised by the reaction. I thought I was trolling them and they were gonna be like, yeah, whatever, Chunky, right? No, they actually totally agreed. They're like, yes, we're gonna get to prove our case finally. Because the politicians are all liars, but the actual voters don't know that the politicians in the right-wing media is lying to them. These guys really believe like, oh my God, Trump's gonna get him now. He's gonna present all the evidence and they're gonna see that the election was stolen. Kari Lake today is talking about how we gotta reinstate him. Okay, so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
What's crazy to me though is that's not even what they're saying, right? They're still engaged in deflection projection. They're just talking about the Biden crime family. The biggest crime is that someone forgot the oyster crackers when they were having clam chowder. Like seriously, how are you gonna make the Biden crime family stick? But that's what they're doing. Even Boebert and Greene are not saying now we can finally prove the election was stolen, which is interesting.
And that is exactly what I'm pointing out here. The disconnect between the voters and the leaders. The leaders all know that the election was not stolen. That is why Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene aren't saying that, and neither is Donald Trump. all of his wild, crazy defenses. I got a First Amendment right. I want to threaten someone. I want to commit fraud. I spoke. It's a First Amendment. That is an awful defense, right?
Yeah.
So what would be a really good defense is, no, the election was stolen, so I'm right. I didn't lie at all. But even Trump isn't making that case. His lawyers aren't making that case. You know why? Because all of the Republican leaders and everyone in right-wing media knows that they're lying to you. The election was not stolen. And they all know it. And if you're MAGA, you should be furious with them. You should be saying, come on, prove our case. We're right. We get to finally prove it. Why aren't you mad at these politicians? They all seem to think that the election was totally legitimate. You should be breathing down their necks. And then one more thing to Franny's earlier point. That clown, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's like, we have all the evidence. That's why we're going to impeach. And that's why she filed her impeachment bill on Biden's first day. Right. Didn't even wait for any facts or evidence, didn't even bother pretending that she had any evidence. She's like, I want to impeach him because I don't like him. That's not how it works, moron. You should have waited and then pretended that, now that I found out that Hunter Biden has a laptop and a cell phone, of course he's got to be impeached. Total utter liars, Jordan.
Well, I think what you're seeing from Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, they're deflecting, they're casting Trump as a victim, I think reflects how the Trump team and the broader Trump base is going into 2024. They don't really have a strong leg to stand on. They don't have a lot to run on right now because the last tenure was pretty tarnished by January 6th, and now 3 indictments with potentially one more in Fulton County, Georgia. I mean, that could come any week now. So 4 potential criminal indictments and a January 6th aftermath. Painting him as a victim could be a good strategy to energize the base. And you saw that poll this week that showed that around half of Republicans would still vote for Trump even if he was in jail. I think that shows they don't really care about what the court actually finds, what the outcome is. If they can continue ginning up support around a martyrdom framework, that might be their strategy. That could energize the base to get them out to vote for this guy who they've convinced the base it was unfairly treated. The only person this is bad for, because obviously it's not bad for Biden, the only person this is bad for is Ron DeSantis, because no matter how many times Trump gets indicted, or no matter how many times things happen to Trump, DeSantis continues to fall in the polls. And I think just this martyrdom approach is really helping Trump while just continuing to plague DeSantis.
Yeah, and we have to go to the graphic 3 here. This is from that Times Siena poll that we've covered on TYT for all week. But Trump's grip on the Republican Party is so strong that the poll found that in a head-to-head contest with DeSantis, Trump still received 22% among voters who believe he has committed serious federal crimes, which is a greater share than the 17% that Mr. DeSantis earned from the entire GOP electorate. So he still wins, Trump still wins in a head-to-head, even with the people who are like, yeah, no, he's committed federal crimes, but better than eating pudding with your fingers. I mean, come on. So yeah, I think this is the week that DeSantis' campaign, hey, look, I don't want to speak ill of the dead if they're still sort of struggling for life, but might have finally gone kaput. I think the real number we all need to be concerned about is what that poll also found, and kind of why I said Marjorie Taylor Greene might be correct, that Mr. Biden and Mr. Trump are tied at 43% apiece in a hypothetical rematch in 2024, according to that Times Siena poll. So, looks like Biden will have to actually speak about the things that he's done and going to do. Can we talk about abortion rights, please? Thank you.
Yeah, get rid of Joe Biden. I mean, look, last thing I'll say, just because you mentioned that poll, this insanity of people in Washington going, Biden's the only one who could beat Trump. Why? Trump is the most unpopular politician of our lifetimes. And the Democrats are so pathetic, they only have one person who could beat him. Shouldn't every Democrat be able to beat him easily? I'm not, other than Dick Cheney, it is not hyperbole. Donald Trump is the most unpopular politician of our lifetimes. And the Democrats say, well, we got no Democrats who could beat him other than this Joe Biden guy who barely beat him by 43,000 votes last time and is now 15 points lower than he was on election day last time. But he's the only one who could beat him. You have to be like, but they get establishment Democrats that watch MSNBC and CNN to believe it 100%. And there's an army of robots that live in an alternate reality where they're like, Joe Biden is the only one who could beat Trump. No, Joe Biden is the only one who could beat Trump. No, he's almost the only one who could lose to Trump. And right now, he's losing to this monster and his clown army of liars. Get a real candidate.
Yeah, but almost losing is winning.
Oh, you know what's even more winning, Franny? Hillary Clinton. Losing is the new winning. That's why I always go with the establishment. They're the only ones who could win, and they prove it over and over again by almost winning and losing.
Should truly be the Democrats' slogan, like Democrats, we almost lost, but we didn't.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.